Genesis chapter 21, the birth of Isaac. The Lord took note of Sarah as he had said he would. The Lord did for her as he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at that set time God had stated. Abraham gave the name Isaac to this son of his whom Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah then said, God has given me cause to laugh, and all who hear of it will laugh with me. Who would ever have told Abraham, she added, that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham held a great banquet on that day of the child's weaning. Sarah noticed the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham, playing with her son Isaac. So she demanded of Abraham, drive out that slave and her son. No son of that slave is going to share the inheritance with my son Isaac. Abraham was greatly distressed because it concerned a son of his. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed about the boy or about your slave woman. Obey Sarah no matter what she asks of you, for it is through Isaac that descendants will bear your name. As for the son of the slave woman, I will make a nation of him also, since he too is your offspring. Early the next morning Abraham got some bread and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. Then placing the child on her back, he sent her away. As she roamed aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba, the water in the skin was used up, so she put the child down under one of the bushes, and then went and sat down opposite him about a bow shot away. For she said to herself, I cannot watch the child die. As she sat opposite him, she wept aloud. God heard the boy's voice, and God's angel called to Hagar from heaven. What is the matter, Hagar? Do not fear. God has heard the boy's voice in this plight of his. Get up, lift up the boy, and hold him by the hands, for I will make of him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the skin with water, and then let the boy drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the wilderness and became an expert bowman. He lived in the wilderness of Paran. His mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt, the covenant at Beersheba. At that time Abimelech, accompanied by Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do, so now swear to me by God at this place that you will not deal falsely with me or with my progeny and posterity, but will act as loyally toward me in the land in which you reside as I have acted toward you. Abraham replied, I so swear. Abraham, however, reproached Abimelech about a well that Abimelech's servants had seized by force. I have no idea who did that, Abimelech replied. In fact, you never told me about it, nor did I ever hear of it until now. Then Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two made a covenant. Abraham also set apart 7 ewe lambs of the flock, and Abimelech asked him, what is the purpose of these 7 ewe lambs that you have set apart? Abraham answered, the 7 ewe lambs you shall accept from me, that you may be my witness that I dug this well. This is why the place is called Beersheba. The two of them took an oath there. When they had thus made the covenant in Beersheba, Abimelech, along with Phicol, the commander of his army, left to return to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk at Beersheba, and there he invoked by name the Lord God, the Eternal. Abraham resided in the land of the Philistines for a long time. Genesis chapter 22, the testing of Abraham. Sometime afterward, God put Abraham to the test and said to him, Abraham, here I am. He replied, then God said, take your son Isaac, your only one whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. There offer him up a burnt offering on one of the heights that I will point out to you. Early the next morning, Abraham saddled his donkey, took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac, and after cutting the wood for the burnt offering, set out for the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham caught sight of the place from a distance. Abraham said to his servants, stay here with the donkey, while the boy and I go in over there. We will worship and then come back to you. So Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac, while he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two walked on together, Isaac spoke to his father Abraham. Father, he said. Here I am, he replied. Isaac continued, here are the fire and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering? My son, Abraham answered, God will provide the sheep for the burnt offering. Then the two walked on together. When they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. Next he bound his son Isaac and put him on top of the wood on the altar. Then Abraham reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham, here I am, he answered. Do not lay your hand on the boy, said the angel. Do not do the least thing to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you did not withhold from me your son, your only one. Abraham looked up and saw a single ram caught by its horns in the thicket. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in place of his son. Abraham named that place Yahweh Yireh. Hence people today say, on the mountain the Lord will provide. A second time the angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven and said, I swear by my very self, oracle of the Lord, that because you acted as you did, in not withholding from me your son, your only one, I will bless you and make your descendants as countless as the stars of the sky and the sands of the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the gates of their enemies, and in your descendants all of the nations of the earth will find blessing, because you obeyed my command. Abraham then returned to his servants, and they set out together for Beersheba, where Abraham lived, Nahor's descendants. Some time afterward the news came to Abraham, Milcah too has borne sons to your brother Nahor, Uz his firstborn, his brother Buz, Kemuel, the father of Aram, Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jalaph, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore children, Teba, Gaham, Tahash, and Maacah. God bless you.